Hey, so I thought I'd do a little painting. I was outside today, and there's this like swimming, like a pool ladder. It comes down by the lake, and it was up against a whole bunch of ice. The ice is breaking and piling up along the shore. So I'm capturing the moment. I was outside for a bit. It was brutally cold, so I wasn't outside all that long. But this is a light ultramarine, so it's basically ultramarine blue and white. It's a golden paint product. I like really high quality paints. Where's my chart? There it is. Golden. So that's what I got going on here. And basically what I observed was that there is this light ultramarine within the sky. Now, I do have a yellow background painted, and I don't have very bright lights. I don't need very bright lights. I don't necessarily need to have that much information, and I find bright lights irritating. For me, they're not so good for me. So I'm going to throw in a few clouds. There's these clouds that don't look very much like that. And and as we get down here, just cover up where it's thinner there. And then as we come down here, the clouds were getting a little bit thicker. But there was also then a kind of a sign of a bit of a stormy weather in the back. So once we get to here, that's going to be expressed with, let's make it a little rounder. That's going to be expressed this little black added to my blue, which will be the sign a storm is coming. Right. I like when I just let my artwork be, you know. The pre-planning thing isn't really my shtick unless there's some reason for it. So I've got this small tube of golden. It's Mars Black. I just need a smidge, really, because what I'm working on here is adding that, just a speck of that to some white, and I'll throw in a little bit of the ultramarine as well. So this part of the, let's see, we want it to go down, so I'm going to adapt to what I need, and I'm mixing some white with a titch of black and some of the light ultramarine that's basically here. Okay, so here on my palette I've mixed the white with the light ultramarine and a titch of that black right there. And so I'm going to use this. And so because just the way I've got my little setup here in the cabin by the window. Directionally, it's more important for me to have my brush strokes going in the right direction. And this stuff was falling. So, let's see. Put that down. Nice bit of thickened paint there. And in the odd spot, I'm going to bring down the lamps in my way. In the odd spot, I'm going to bring down more light. Whoa. And then now that I've got that, I'm going to turn this is a mason board. Turn it back straight. And now that I've got it back straight again, and those lines where a little bit of black is in with the white now, so you can see the difference between there and the sky color above. So I'm going to top that with a cloud, but I'm going to have to rinse my brush first. Just give it a good rinse. Just to really get rid of that black part. Because the black part is kind of from underneath what I want to pull up on top of the clouds. So then I'm going to be back with some white. I'm going to actually pull this cloud from this side because other than one cloud, I've had everything basically coming from this side. Oops. Right like that. And one more hit of white on top. Okay. And I'll take another hit of white and run that white down here. And you know, I think I'm just gonna basically hit the bottoms with a flat as kind of more the way the winds will run. So we've got some changing of the colors. And then it's going to hit the horizon of the lake. And based on my strokes of genius here, so I'm going to have to come back and pick up a titch more black. I'm going to bring up some of these areas so that I have a little bit more to work with. And there's another piece of solid plasticky acrylic, and I'm just gonna pull these up. Oh, there's some heavy black there. It's okay. That'll add to the storminess. That there's a slight hint of a storm out there. Oh yeah. How's that looking? Pretty cool. That gives me a little focal point out there too. So, you know, those blacks might prove to be a bit dark. Being that I'm kind of painting in the dark. But I do like the surprise. I'm also painting with a bit of a yellowy lamp. But I'm in the cabin, and it always is what it is, you know? And it always turns out beautiful, so. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a slightly different brush here. It's a bit thinner, this one. A bit thinner, it's a flat. The other one I had was, see, it's quite a bit thicker. And it's a round. And this is a flat. The flat. Okay. And now I'm gonna just use my palette of white here. Okay. So I'm picking this up. And if I wasn't holding a camera, I would have something for my elbow to rest, but let's see here. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, I'll load this up with a bit more paint. And, you know, I throw a bit of paint here and here so I can pick it up along the way. Okay, here we go again. So again, this is for my horizon line on my lake. And she got to be straight because it is the lake are flat. It's like this. Did you know they taught in the schools that the earth was flat prior to, was it 1950s or 40s? Okay. It's a little low. See that I measured here? Go down there. And she's low. Okay, move this out of the way. So this is the van I got to pick up. Oh, you know what else too? Here's a tip. The paint on your paintbrush that gets near the bottom of the paintbrush is a hindrance. It's good to take the paint off and only put it on the tip, because the tip's the only part that works. The rest of it is not supposed to be filled with paint. Oops, here I am over here. Ready? So I'm gonna run my finger along this board, and that's gonna help keep me straight too. Except these are all in the way. Coffee's in the way. Okay. So this is like, it's still called au pair, like outside painting. So I'm just finishing what I started outside. Because it's so freezing cold. Oh, I hope this works. If I put pressure on the bristles, they'll spread. So I can do this gently. That should be it. so then we got the lake. It was a bit of a storm in the background, the clouds, and the sunny sky up above. And that's the right color for this time of year. And in the higher atmospheres, it tends to be that ultramarine. And this is mixed with white. And then it'll tend to get down into a cerulean and even into the turquoises down near the bottoms at times. So now I'm going to leave this to dry. And then I will come in and put my foreground on. So the middle ground is basically done. Background, right, the sky. The middle ground, because that's my lake surface. So I'm going to let this dry so that I can come in and texture on top of it, you know. And like in here, to come in with some textures of how the sun is reflecting off maybe, or something like that. And then after it's dry, then I'm going to put my, well, I might, we'll see what happens, but the plan is to put in the ice that has come up against the land here, and the ice break, the cement break for the water. And so the ice is broken from the lake, come up like this, made little caves by the shore. And there's still this swimming pool slide that the neighbor put by the water. And the ice is all piled up on it. But it's this interesting slide that makes such cool imagery every day. Sometimes there's a sunset or a sunrise or a storm. One time I came out and I did a little painting, and there was just the slide, and it was like just sheer snow. Just nothing but snow. Big huge flakes and this blue swimming slide into like white on white. It's cool. All right, so that's that for now, and I'll be back and paint some more, and I'll post it. Okay, talk soon.